Hello and welcome to the Fortitude Podcast. It is season 2, episode 22, and after our miserable week last week without the man to my left, we are back in full force. And to my left, and my absolutely fantastical left, and he's not at all wonky face, is what you actually said before.
I am a little bit, but Jason Watson.
And to my right, and some would say, actually he would say, he is like Julius Caesar.
Yeah, that's a genuine quote.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it is.
Now I heard it.
No, it is.
Before the podcast, you said, who is Julius Caesar? So, who is Julius Caesar, Kate? Who are you, Julius? What's your name?
The guy on the right is Kamal, so it's me.
Julius Caesar. And me, Frankie Luz. Jay, what's your Instagram?
Rustic Soul.
Kate, what's your Instagram?
Live with Kamal.
And me, the real Frankie Luz. Right. Well, let's go trans agenda very quickly. We're talking weekly recap, and also merged in is the K-list and why he is now assumed, or just kind of told me and Jay that he is leader of Fortitude Fitco.
Yeah, even though he never wears it.
And
he wore it yesterday. I saw him wearing it yesterday.
Yeah, he wears it a lot when not on screen. And after that, we're going to talk the world's best gym. And if you had $1 million...
Where would you find one of them?
If you had $1 million, what would you do? And what would you bring in to your gym?
What a brilliant question.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
After that, we're going to go trending and why Love Island is trash. And me and Kay can speak from experience being with ITV2 once upon a time, why they're trash. So I thought we could go into that.
Nice, that'd be interesting.
And to finish on, Jay, you missed out last week.
Yeah, I did.
We playing a new. Have you seen Would I Lie to You on BBC?
Yes, I have. I haven't really watched a full episode, but I've seen it.
The whole concept is they come up with a fact on a card, and it is either a truth or a lie.
Oh yeah.
And they persuade you. You're always trying to persuade the truth, okay?
Right. I like it.
So last week I told Kay that I drank piss water at uni, and you thought it was a lie when it was true.
I couldn't believe
Oh,
it.
that's a tragic truth. I like that.
I was
That's
a
really
mess!
Cool. I'm
Yeah.
glad I was here for that.
The story became more and more unrealistic the more he told me. I was like, it's got to be a lie.
So I'll tell you that when we get to it. But that's it. Right, weekly recap. Jay.
That sounds really good, actually. I'm looking forward to that.
Good. How you been?
Yeah, been all right till today. Things are going quite well.
Here we go.
I'll dive into that soon as to why today's not been a great day now.
Oh, no.
Wonky face Jay. Yeah. If you see me in the street, point at me, scream at me, and chuck wonky fruit.
Like Clump from the Goonies.
I want you to find wonky fruit and throw it at me. And go, look, wonky, you look like this. You wonky potato. And that's what I want people to say to me. So yeah, that's been my week. Kay, what about you? What you been up to, bro?
What have we been up to? God, I really struggle with this question all the time. Frank, what have you been up to?
Oh fucking hell! I was supposed to edit a video for you two to actually play during the weekly recap. So I won't edit it, but I will show you a glimpse. So Jay, I'd like you to elaborate. I feel like more has happened in your week than just misery today.
I mean, it has mainly been misery today. But we can dive into why instead whilst you try and find this. If you
I've got it.
Oh, he's got the thing.
Okay, so we went to the Boardwalk, which is a place in Rendlesham, which is just like a...
It's the place that you never invite us to.
So was it you and Louise? Or?
Yeah, me, Louise,
All right.
And her two friends.
So Louise brought her friends.
Yeah, there's a one-off. I haven't...
Isn't that interesting, Kate?
I haven't done this once.
You have two friends.
Frankie's partner brings two of her friends, but Frankie himself does not bring either of his.
What? How do you really feel?
That was a
about
spur
us,
of the moment. That was a spur of the moment thing.
Oh, we're
always ready.
We do everything in the spur of the moment.
You didn't invite me last night, you two.
Yeah, we did.
No, you didn't. I never got
Sent
an
you a
official
message.
invite saying, Frank, you up for it?
Yeah, we did.
You said you were with Louise that night.
We said
You two were arranging stuff, and I was waiting for the Frank bomb, and nothing ever Frank.
That's because,
Quite frankly, there was no Frank.
That's because you're renowned for saying no to us, whereas we would typically say
I was
yes.
up for it. I would have said yes.
So you wouldn't.
No, I was out with the pair aunts.
And probably Louise and her friends. You like them more than you like us.
Anyway, I've got to show you anyway. This guy reminded me. So he was a performer, like they have in the corner, and he just he does a set.
Yeah.
Bear in mind the pub. There was probably 4 people in it at this time. Probably us and like a few more people around. Actually, so probably more than 4. Regardless, he is a real life Family Guy character.
What?
Have you like? I'm going to show you. I'm not going to even explain. I want you to. And this, it sounds like I'm taking the piss out of him. I thought it was funny, but at the same time, he was going all out for 4 people, which I actually I liked because
that's good. He didn't hold back.
He didn't hold back. He didn't get like, oh, there's no one here to perform to. He went balls to the wall. And this, bear in mind, there's like a few people in this place.
Is this clip going to go on the?
You'll be able to hear it. It makes sense if you hear it. I'll zoom in. This guy. I'll show the camera in a separate clip at the end. And he does some jokes, but after every joke, no one responds to any of his comments. But he always giggles.
Oh, so he's doing it for his own enjoyment still.
Yeah.
And doesn't care if you're laughing or not.
So look.
Oh, that's it. Thank you very much.
Really.
We're a bit young for that one, so we'll move on to the next one.
No.
Have you got any dream lovers?
No matter how much
Any
you
dream
can
lovers? Not anymore yet.
He's telling jokes and he's just giggling after.
Walks off laughing.
And then he keeps going, and the thing is, I would play another. And the thing is,
But no one was laughing with him.
yeah, which made me really giggle because I was thinking Family Guy, Peter Griffin type face, or someone
that's
else.
his gimmick. They're like little unfunny jokes in between, knowing that no one really laughs.
But anyway, so I met the real life Family Guy character, or one of them. But there was a moral, like I said at the start. I initially found it very funny and amusing. And then, when he got going, he won the crowd around. Some more people come in, and then he won them around. Then you could see a smile growing. And that was, to be fair, he's battled through it, and he's come out the other end here. He probably got 20 quid for the night. I don't know.
I'd like to think he made something for his efforts.
Yeah, but he...
Would have been nice to experience it in real life.
Yeah, would have been real.
It'd been nice to see what you two were up to yesterday, but, I didn't invite you to that, so... Anyway, Kay, what you been up to yesterday that I didn't get? Did you watch the old Tyson Fury fight then, or did you not?
I watched the morning. Jason sent it to the group chat.
Oh, you did you?
I showed you the best bit.
Oh, is that his head movement?
His head movement. Did you see that in slow motion?
I saw
Tyson
Twitter.
Fury's head movement in slow motion was like watching The Matrix.
Yeah.
Didn't he missed like 6 punches, didn't he?
Yeah, he just slipped over his head, and then sometimes he just straight up missed. It was incredible. The guy looked like a child swinging for his dad because he was just like hunched over, like trying to swing for him, and then Fury was just all over him. But he's incredible.
He steps away and threw like an uppercut, didn't he? And like hit it, just like one shot, just hit
him, and then done a couple more like jabs across the face. Then the guy took a knee, then got back up, and then he got TKO'd.
I never really watched Fury. I remember him back on Channel 5.
He's an absurd freak of nature. He's not boring.
No, back in the day. So when he was on Channel 5, I thought,
plus he was out of shape as well, so I was like, I don't want to watch this guy.
Yeah.
It's hard to enjoy his body. His back is flabby. But then he goes toe to toe with these like athletic looking ones and doesn't look as tired as them.
He's quick as well.
And his punches his body doesn't look fast, but his punches always connect and they're always quick. But they don't look like it in the moment. And also they don't look powerful, but then next thing you know, the guy's taking a knee in pain. Like
his jabs that he throws are very like they prod. I think they're more annoying jabs.
Like
his backhand jab
to follow up with something a bit more.
Those, doesn't he?
It's really good.
Raresh versus Tyson Fury next.
Wow.
That'll be an interesting fight.
That would be.
But I mean,
if you do kicking as well.
Yeah.
Head kick.
But no, Fury is incredible. Like the fact that he went off from drugs and alcohol and depression, came back. His first return of fight was 12 rounds with Wilder, made Wilder look silly sometimes.
No, his first fight wasn't Wilder.
Wasn't
No, he had 2 fights before.
He had 2 fights before. I thought it was Wilder.
So he smashed someone in like a few rounds, first one.
They were journeyman fights then.
He had to get him back into it, yeah.
So, yeah, but he
but still,
outboxed
3
him,
fights.
looked incredible. And he did say, like, I made him look silly. Like, he likes to say, a fat man who came off alcohol and depression made you look silly against a fighter in his prime. So
they're rematching, aren't they? Wilder and Fury, I think.
It should be a fun
fight. Interesting to see what happens. I'd like to see Fury win.
After watching that fight, I definitely think AJ is going to lose against both of them.
Yeah.
It's hard to see, isn't it? Like when you look at AJ losing against, I'm not taking away from Andy Ruiz. He was impressive, done really well. Like his counter punching was incredible. Every time AJ stepped up, he got like 5 or 6 punches given back to him. So he created that fear. So yeah, he give him what he deserves, but I can't see AJ stepping up and handling like a couple of Wilder's right hands.
I don't think he's got the chin.
Or missing it as much, because throughout that fight with Fury pretty much slipped about 90% of Wilder's right hands. He just kept slipping most of them. And then when Wilder did connect a couple of them, obviously it knocked him down.
Yeah.
That's how powerful his right hand is. But then you can't imagine AJ being able to do that for 12 rounds and handle that level of kind of intensity. And then you can't imagine him being able to handle the clever, weird style of Fury. He plays boxing like he plays chess, just slow and...
Well, the thing about Wilder is he's got such good straight shots. So his jab and his right straight, they're just good. And if you watched him a few times, he's not as bad. Like people say, he's not very technical when he's just raw power. He's not that bad. When he gets a bit overzealous, so when he gets excited, he starts swinging. But by that point, his power takes over, and it doesn't matter if he misses because when he does connect, he does knock the person out normally. But Wilder. Imagine fighting someone you knew for 12 rounds had the potential to knock you spark out. You're going to be a bit hesitant. And the thing, you could 99% of the time you could be bang on for the night of your life. And that 1% when he catches you, you're down on the canvas.
Yeah, which is what happened to Fury. Exactly. 12, he got knocked down twice, but that last one, it only takes Wilder like one or two of his big hits to get you. And trying to evade that big hit for 12 rounds is hard.
What do you think about Joe Rogan saying he doesn't see a problem with the draw from Fury and Wilder, so he didn't see a problem with it because Joe Rogan likes the fact that counts damage as a score. So essentially, because Wilder done more damage, he wasn't bothered about the draw. Where I think that's bullshit because by the end of the day, if you're playing the boxing, they go round by round, and then each round you class that as a different match. In my head, that's regardless if you knock me down in round 5. If I've beat you in 4 rounds before that, just because you've put more damage on me, I don't think that.
I think technically Fury won that fight.
Well, exactly.
He outboxed him, didn't he?
Yeah.
But I mean,
I get what Joe Rogan's saying because, like, it's a combat sport and it is one man fighting another man. Initially, combat sports come from men dueling and fighting, men and women, fighting each other to damage each other and cause victory over someone, not by being technically better than them, but being able to defeat them in combat and making them have pain and feel hurt. So, like, I guess you can see where it's coming from.
Spiralize. You said men and women. And I remember walking through Tesco's as I was getting some snacks for us. And there was a lady, there was a person with a label on her chest that said he, I, she, and some other words. I guess to suggest to call her a different name. There's so many variations. Like, she confused me with more names.
Oh, so you're back onto the old...
So let's talk transgender.
We're on it again.
Well, that person had really interesting flamboyant hair, really interesting shoelaces, body shape of a lady.
Tell you what, spiralize back. Women boxers, yeah.
So are we going to cap off the damage versus technical boxing conversation?
So I'd say spiralize over it completely knocks me off.
That's quite a good bit. I wanted to actually hear what Kay was going to say about that.
What do you
subject.
think about damage versus technical
I think Joe Rogan was coming from more of an MMA background, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And,
regardless, if you smash my face in round 5 and I won round 1 to 4, I win. I won because I played within the rules of the game. If street fight, I reckon if you would pattern me, I'm going to put it the other way around because someone's about to knock someone out. So I was patting.
You had to say knockout Kay.
If I was patting you and then you knocked me out, I might have hit you more, but you knocked me out in a street fight. Then fair.
When you offered to reverse it, to be actually reverse that, Kay didn't go, no, keep to your original plan. He was like, no, make sure you do reverse it.
I reversed it out of being nice to my bro, but he wants to knock me out.
And then he just took it.
Frank would knock me out easy.
Nah, Kay would head kick me and
you'd
bleed and wouldn't have a family to go back to.
You'd both just start kissing. All right.
Yeah. What do you think?
What do you actually think, Kay, on if it's like Frankie said, if Frankie, let's say
I think Joe Rogan was probably
me out in round 5. But I've outboxed him 1 to 4.
Oh, but you lost because I knocked you out.
But who do you think wins? Oh no, I get back up. You knock me down, and like I get back up. Who do you think wins? Frankie done more damage.
Rewrite the rule
3
book.
out of 4 rounds, then you win. Right?
If you could rewrite the rule book,
right,
and you could make your own rules up,
I might as well stick to it. I think the rule book is fine. To be fair, point for point.
No, I thought Fury won that fight because he outboxed me.
That's like saying in a basketball game, just because from a 3-point shot you shot it so well with your eyes closed, and I shot it with my eyes open. Yeah. Just because you had your eyes closed, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I like the concept of someone brought up once no rounds and no just one you still rounds, but no cap. So it wouldn't be 12. It would just go on until there's a winner. I like the thought of that because you'd have someone win by the end of it. And normally, if you didn't have the skill, it would be who's the fittest. Because the time you get there, who wants it more? You know?
Maybe that's a new fighting league.
That's a great fucking idea.
Maybe there's a new fighting league.
Fortitude
fighting.
Yeah.
We were going to do Fortitude Combat.
No rounds.
So, no rounds.
Well,
winners!
Rounds, but no round cap.
Oh, shit.
Or maybe just literally one giant round. No time cap. You just fight until it's over.
Did you see the Mayweather video where he done that? He got some. He's got his little club, and he had one giant round, and these two lads who didn't like each other just got them to fight each other for like 25 minutes straight.
He does it quite often, doesn't he?
It's quite a clever training technique and quite hard wearing.
Well, apparently, because one of the lads knocked out knocked down his brother or punched his brother, so that
So we have a reply to. Do you want to mention that she was paralysed to the comment?
Cool. Can we jump to that?
What's happened?
Can we cap off the agenda?
Finish Fortitude fighting coming soon.
That's all done. And where did that come from? Where was next?
What's
transgender?
Where were we up to next?
So we were talking about the Tyson Fury fight.
I was trying to stick to Frankie's.
We can move. Obviously, we keep on we'll go Fitco next, and we'll talk a bit Fitco. But as far as weekly recaps, I'm happy.
That's good.
I do want to. Did you reply to this guy? Do you want to give some context?
Because I replied to both me and Jason.
I wasn't going to actually reply. I was going to kind of let him
fest.
Yeah. So what happened? Just context for the audience.
Okay, so there's on the pedophile video, which got the most amount of reviews ever, by the way. So some guy that sent up. You guys just go on YouTube and then you can read the comments.
Can I just pretty much say?
Yeah.
So we were talking about the fact that pedophiles, if they could seek help before doing anything bad, they should. And some bloke comments in the comment. You're probably going to watch this one. I don't know if you do. What was his main point was that we're all as bad as each other because we kill animals.
I didn't quite get it.
I was very confused more than anything. But maybe I'll put a screenshot up on screen for now. Spotify and Apple. Sorry, my bad.
So what did you say?
So I replied saying, "What do you suggest?" DA73. That's his name, or her name. Rustic Soul replied as well, saying, "I don't quite understand the comparison here." So he replied saying, "I suggest we start becoming something better than pedophile as a society if we want to act morally superior to anyone. That will be a start. There actually is a lot of practical ideas otherwise to combat pedophilia, but no one's really interested. It's all about the drama." He seems like a Milo, a gentleman which will just share ideas that doesn't really have an end point, and he's probably high.
Thanks for watching our video though and engaging.
Yeah.
To be fair,
I
it's
good
that he had something to say, but I didn't quite get it because I
was confused.
Sometimes he was saying like, I mean, it's at some point I couldn't tell if he was saying that like me eating a burger makes me as bad as a paedophile.
Yeah, I didn't quite get it.
Like the reply to you is even more spiralizing. So, Rustic Soul. Well, imagine I could link you to the documentary with actual footage of child abuse, children being violently raped and even murdered, then sold on the black market to cannibals. Compare that to this, and then there's two links to two documentaries. I mean,
definitely I'm not clicking any of those links, my friend.
I think this guy might need to go to one of those rehab centers we're talking about. I mean,
it's got a lot of information on the old child abuse.
He seems to be really into the subject, and also somewhat defending it by saying that, we can't take the moral high ground over these people when we do bad things ourselves, like eat meat and so on. What he's saying is like, it sounds like what he's saying is
he's
we
defending
all do bad things.
Society.
Yeah, like we all do
what makes us
wrong.
better? Is that what he's saying? I don't.
Yeah.
Again, I still don't understand.
Like in this crazy world that we live in, you know how transgenders are trying to be like, call me this or call me that. I think we'll soon have societies like pedophile societies to be like, we should be treated just as good as you guys are, and we're trying.
I don't know if it'll go.
Well, I
feel like I got what you're saying. Like we now have to be very careful what we say.
Yeah.
But what we're saying is like you can see the potential that one day they might be like, we shouldn't be.
They'll try to normalize their behavior
because we're trying to normalize everything else.
Yeah.
But so that brings to the question: when is it too much? When's it too much?
What's too much?
When's it like? At what point do you stop trying to normalize everything and accept that some things are?
I think we're too far gone as a society now, aren't we?
That point is probably too much to normalize that.
But I'm sure when there's a transgender somewhere high up in politics, we'll probably they'll probably be
I
like,
don't
you know
know,
what, this
yeah.
guy's right.
Yeah.
As on a just a note to finish that off.
DA.
DA, whoever you are, I still don't. I don't think any of us really grasp what
we
you're
don't
saying.
get what you're saying.
But thanks for messaging on the video. If you are supporting, or if you, I don't even. One time I didn't know if he was complimenting, and then next I didn't know if he was slamming me.
Yeah,
I didn't get it. But anyway, I feel like
We're not going to tap those links because I don't know where
I'm
they're
very
going to go.
scared.
And I'm not about that life. So
Right, should we end this one here and have a little break?
yeah,
And then talk Fitco, or we're gonna nip that in the
probably
bud?
nip that very quickly. It's only 4 minutes.
All
We've got
right.
4 minutes before we have
We're
to
king
do
of
it.
spiralizers, but
Let's do
Jay,
it.
context.
All right. Okay. So, oh no, we're gonna need more time. We're gonna have to reset the.
Because I also want to counter argument you, believe it or not. I'm going to counter argument you, Jay.
Well, Frank, you better prepare yourself for that.
I
Oh,
want to counter argument you both.
Frank is about to defend you.
No, I don't.
I'm not defending anyone, really.
All right. Well, here we go. Pause and switch batteries. Alrighty then. Hello and welcome back to the K section. Okay, so, all right. Now I'm quite confused at this bit.
Is this K list?
I came
Don't name it.
I came into the gym and Max was like, "Oh, did you see what K put on these stories about Fortitude Fitco samples?" And I was like, "Do you mean samples? Like
What is Fitco, Jay?
Fortitude Fitco is the clothing line equally shared between me, Kamal, and Frankie. So we're co-owners of this business. So yeah, this went on there as samples, and like Max was like, "Did you see the samples? I didn't know about I didn't know you guys were doing this," and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know we were doing samples either," because we'd never discussed samples like long sleeve samples and jumpers. You did tell me that you brought a client of yours a present, which was like obviously
That's how it started, really. So
Fortitude branded, and it was like a present to him. But then it then got put out as a sample, which I assume was just to make some hype. It's not actually a sample. But it was just create the hype that there might be samples. Yeah. But the problem wasn't that it was like pretended to be a sample that wasn't a sample. It was that it was only one out of the 3 people talking about this new sample, and that was where I was like, oh, so now there's only one of us going out there telling the world about the samples for the clothing line. So everyone's like, I can't wait to see this. I want to buy this.
So I came back with, why don't we... So yeah, originally, my client, Steven, he requested a couple of sweatshirts. So I got him some embroidered sweatshirts. And I was like, do you know what? These look actually sick and they fit amazing. So I was like, yeah, let's take a picture, build up some hype. If I have a nice response, we'll get it. And then I replied, I realized that it looks like I'm the only one,
You didn't realise until I was told.
Well, yeah, I realised after I was told. I didn't realise until
I didn't realise until Jay reaffirmed it to my head.
So then I replied back saying, why don't we, the next couple of samples, or whatever we call them, really, you guys put them on your story first and I don't. And then that looks pretty equal, doesn't it?
And then I said, well, I replied to that bit saying that I wouldn't want to do that. I want us to do it. If we're going to drop a sample or talk about a new thing that's out there,
or we do it on the Fitco one, maybe.
Either do it on the Fitco one, or if we are going to do it on our personal ones at the same time, from our own point of views.
Yeah,
it all happens at the same time.
Yeah,
so at least, I mean, I know you've got the larger following anyway.
Yeah,
but like at least then we get the chance to show people who do follow us that we are also showcasing our clothing line. That we have.
I absolutely agree. I think I just took the chance of wearing that sweatshirt before it got disappeared into Steven Williams' hands.
Counter argument. Yes. What makes this any different, Jay, to the time 100 shirts were bought in without me knowing?
It doesn't, I guess. No, it's not any different.
Oh, so I've been stung twice.
You've been stung twice.
2 busy bees.
You've been stung twice. Wait, so the 100 shirts, you were aware of the 100 shirts?
I wasn't told about the 100 shirts.
The 100 shirts, I'm pretty sure, were pre-discussed prior to shares being divvied.
No, we have talked about this in an earlier podcast.
And
but
then the thing that wasn't shared was the logo alterations, because you never... Kay says that he showed you. You said you haven't seen them. They got approved without you also agreeing with it. So that was a sticky stitch. But I'm pretty sure the discussion for clothing were already on the way before the divvy of shares were discussed.
Depends how you want to look at it.
It wasn't quite confirmed of who would be where, what would be happening, and where the company would sit and stand. Whereas at this point, this secondary sting from Kay, we already established where we are. The company already exists. The shares are already divvied. And I
think the funny thing is that we established that in the new gym is when we would start taking the clothing range seriously, because it's hard at the moment.
Yeah.
You know. So what happens a week later? Samples. See, it comes out of nowhere, and not even a message like, "Oh, lads, look at this sick."
Should we post this as a sample? Like, because it wasn't actually a sample; it was a present for a client.
I do like it.
It looks
to be
awesome.
fair.
I just thought I'd build up the hype. Didn't really think about it.
Yeah, doesn't
My
care about us.
apologies.
Doesn't care about us.
My apologies for leaving you two out of this.
I'm gonna get the
In
shittest
hindsight-
Fortitude shorts.
In
Sample
hindsight,
them.
it did look.
It did look really nice, and I'm also looking forward to your new jumpers coming out.
What?
In hindsight,
Kay's new jumpers.
in
do you mean?
hindsight, I should have consulted.
Are you doing
guys.
jumpers? And I don't know about that
No,
as
it's the
well.
long sleeves. What we're now currently talking
Oh,
about.
We've got
Okay,
100.
sorry.
We've got 100 coming. I'm joking.
Please, man, please.
So yeah,
Please.
there we go. That was it. Really, it was like a little moment. I mean, I think it was because they were put down as samples, and
Yeah, but people. By the way, so people are actually now requesting some of these things.
there we go. So the main thing is people want them.
Yeah, which would be nice.
What do we do then? Seeing as we have loyal buyers, probably I'd say 1 to 20 people that will probably buy anything we release. Does that mean we forever release bring in 20 of each item, or 30, or would you always bring in 100?
Well, we had
Because
a great plan.
We've
didn't
got
we?
80 left for the first.
We did
ones.
have a pretty good plan with the whole social media side of things. I think we should still go ahead with that once we're in a position to do so.
Yeah, it's all just a bit complex at the moment, isn't it?
But I think some people are definitely asking for these jumpers or whatever other stuff. So we do have a guy that can embroider it for us. And I mean, it's not the cheapest thing in the world, but it will work out around the same as us getting brand new jumpers, brand new t-shirts.
Yeah.
Are you talking to not do it from the Swansea guy?
As in, when until the point where we can order 100 at a time, we can order a few. Maybe
To be
like
honest, I don't know if that Swansea guy can't deliver consistent shirts.
That's a good point.
For one, if we're gonna get this, is this the good one? This looks like
This is one of the
Originals.
main ones. This is not the sample one. The thing is, though, the reason why these are so different to the sample one is because we did send him changes we wanted made to the sample one. So these were he made changes to the main ones.
Did we ask for a change of thickness? I thought it was just for the length of the dip.
I don't
I
think
need
we
to
did.
recall the emails. 'Cause
Yeah, we'll
I
check
don't
the
know.
email.
If we ever said change thickness, then fair play. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not his fault. But it feels like it's a completely different material.
It feels cheaper, doesn't it? Than,
Yeah, it feels like 100 of cheap compared to. I mean,
Because the sample T-shirt is definitely the best one.
but yeah, I love it. Anyway, buy shirts and help us out so we buy more. $19.99 at your nearest Fortitude gym.
People have been buying them still,
one.
every now and then.
Have they?
Yeah, the money keeps being left in
Yeah,
here.
it's like
Keep writing down
30 quid in there. Or
Do you know how
something,
many
40
we've
quid
got in there?
No.
We have to do a little
So-
a tally up.
Sold 3 or 4 since.
Oh, really?
Steve
We'll have
Williams
to have
what
a look.
too.
But so even Stephen Williams gets the cool shirts before I get a fucking shirt.
It was a gift though. It wasn't actually a shirt.
Gift
it was
me a
gift.
shirt.
It was a gift. It wasn't nothing to do with Fitco. It was just a
Yeah.
personal gift.
All
He just
right.
wanted
He's got
one
called
with
a
the
sample.
logo. Because he wears sweatshirts and he was like, "Can you get me some of those?" But we
If you would have wait, so if Stephen Williams was training one day and he would have walked in wearing with a logo here, first edition here, long sleeve, what would you say to that? Would you be like, "Oh shit, are we just release it?" What?
I would be, yeah. Well, I mean, if it was a full Fitco thing, then it would be a bit upsetting. But
Questionable.
this is a jumper that
Is
says,
it just there?
It's
Yeah,
a
just
jumper
the
that
logo.
just has
Okay.
a logo on it, and
All right, fair enough.
I mean, it wasn't ever meant. It was never called a sample until it got called a sample on Instagram. It wasn't the fact that it was called a sample; it's the fact that it was like, oh, look at this new sample coming from one
Yeah.
person in the 3.
26 quid
Was it?
per sweatshirt.
Bloody hell!
So if we sell for 30,
Then Kay called me wonky eyes.
what the fuck? No, I didn't.
He zoomed in on my wonky face.
It wasn't wonky. I think you're judging yourself so hard. Like
Yeah.
I've never met anyone that hates themselves so much in my life.
There we go.
Jesus.
They zoomed in. We were having a laugh in the group, and then there was a joke between you and Max. And then instead of zooming in on Max's face during the joke, he zoomed in my unexpected face for no reason, just to target me. I think to bully me. And then
It was definitely bullying.
I didn't like the angle very much. I didn't like the brightness on my skin and the fact that my eyes looked beady. So I was like, oh, no, delete it, please. What do I see? It's in the chat. It's put into the group chat with 5 other men.
No. There's one
5
additional
other
person.
lads.
Yeah.
It was everyone that was in this room that's already seen
Mitch.
and Mitch.
Mitch wasn't in the room.
Yeah, and Mitch is the additional person.
But
we've all
that's more
seen
that
it.
I didn't want to see it again.
I'm sorry.
So,
And
Kate, you
other
asked for
people-
something that wasn't.
And I asked you very nicely if you could just delete that one for me, please.
I'm sorry, bro.
And you went out there. This shows that like you don't actually care about what I say.
No, I do. I do care.
It's like, oh, Jay, did you ask something? Nah, fuck off. That's what you said.
I
to
heard
me.
it. I heard it like that.
Thank you.
Right, whilst we were talking about Fitco shirts,
Yeah.
and I brought up the new gym.
Yeah.
If you had all the money in the world,
Ooh.
and let's say you had the gym already open, in a unknown. To be
I
fair,
just squeezed the bottle. I just wasn't thinking.
you can even pick the location. Yeah, right. So you can even pick a location you want, open it that day, have all the equipment in there, everything you've ever wanted. Go, Jay. Actually, wait. You've gone first on last week. Can I go K first?
K
go.
first.
So we can have it anywhere we want.
Your ultimate fantasy gym. What do you have? Oh shit.
Oh wow. Okay. And locations included in
You
the
can,
price?
yeah, you could. No, so
Ipswich
don't worry about the money.
location or
Just
world location.
world. So you
Wow.
can have whatever you want. What do you do?
Well, we're in Cali. We're now in Cali, and it's pretty much. I mean, when we first started designing this 2.5 years ago, we sitting down on that sofa and we're designing our ideal scenario of the perfect gym. We had this idea of a circle desk
in
with
the
a fuel
middle.
bar around
Was
it.
that
yeah.
2 years ago?
2.5.
That was a long time
Yeah,
ago.
man.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
That's sad, actually.
That is sad.
Now you've said the
But
years.
that just goes to show when we started planning the second gym, and it's still taking so long to get it approved and stuff. But anyway, so yeah, big old fuel bar in the middle.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was, and having the you can choose the music from the middle as well, and you can mingle with, because everyone loves the idea of us being here and then they can see us and just mingle with us as well.
All at the same time.
Yeah.
We're so incredibly vain that
we are.
But no,
we're
the
the
heart of our
centerpiece.
gym is the fact that we're all here together, and that's what people like. So,
Yeah.
like they like being involved with everyone in the gym, and that circle design was to have like the most kind of
The heart of the gym being right in the middle.
Yeah.
And so we have a Pinterest board of the most amazing looking bathrooms, really blacked out, glossy, incredible mirrors.
you're actually going to get.
We are going to get it at the new gym, yeah.
I think that's a good thing to keep as a priority is
standpoint.
showers. It's a big thing.
I think
massive
people will
investment.
treat it really well as well if they see that it's really expensive.
You'll have someone not, but you have that with everything, when you so.
Well, hopefully they'll leave and kick him out. And then we will have an amazing Fortitude Combat Zone where the best coaches are teaching the best fighters, and we produce fighters, and they're all in the UFC and all that sort of stuff. That would be the dream.
That'd be sick,
That
wouldn't it?
would be. It's not far off what we're actually going to be able to create.
That's true.
But the dream would be to definitely actually have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also in Cali, 'cause that would be it's a good spot. It's a good choice of
Probably a
location.
scale. I think the overall idea you're going to go for, you could, with the ultimate money, you could scale it up, can you?
Yeah.
You could go mental with
Well,
everything.
this next gym was going to allow us to, as soon as we launch this one, Raj wants to get his franchise going in Bears and Edmonds.
Yeah.
And then
Does he?
3 months into it, we can start doing the things on, because the second gym needs to show a blueprint of what the other ones are going to look like.
So you want to copy gyms and
so you model
copy and
exactly
paste.
the
You
same
create that's what the basis of franchising is. Like you create a blueprint and then you just recreate it wherever you go.
What made you change that? We'll go back to your what you want in it. What made you change from once upon a time wanting the ultimate one gym to franchise?
Well,
Is
that's
there-
spread the joy all around the world, you know?
Is it financial?
I think
Because you can
it's-
make more money, obviously.
Yeah, it's just like you create something from nothing. So Fortitude Fitness didn't exist before, and all of a sudden it did. There wasn't us taking it over from someone. It wasn't like no one passed it to.
We're not stealing customers here, we're creating a whole new
it's
market.
zero to what it is now. Like didn't exist, now it does. So like it's the scaling of something that you've created and what the potential could be.
Like Gary says, scaling down scalable. Like,
Yeah, it's like just growing it and growing. And once it gets to a point where like you may not need any more money, but you just want to build the legacy of the brand still.
It's like it's a Jeff Bezos on his Amazon. The guy is the richest man in the world. Like,
Yeah.
how do you still wake up and you're like, yep, let's make more money? But I guess that's the drive of keep building new things. I want like all of our staff members to have the most amazing cars, and I want them all to be able to provide for their families.
Everyone
and
to
stuff.
be good. It's like Audi, the superstore. who Morgan works for, like they're now like the highest earning superstore out of all of them. They're beating like Tesco's, they're beating everyone. They're smashing.
They're opening
everyone
up next to Tesco's and stuff.
Yeah,
well,
they actively have opened like 2 or 3 more in our area in the last couple of years. There's like 4 or 5 around Ipswich and Marsham and so on. And they choose to open up near other superstores. They don't need to make more money. They just need to dominate. They're scaling their business, and it's actually still owned by the family. Still own it, even though there's a board and like a big corporate board and everything. It still comes down to the family who owns it, and obviously the family just want to keep scaling their brand and just keep building. And
what makes me massively proud as well is that this is the perfect place to bring up your first level, like the foundation level. Like V, for example, Vina, she's as soon as he turned 16, he came down and he was being coached by us, by Jamie Mower and all these people, Jack as well, who helped him grow into what he is now. And he's now deadlifting over 100, and you know he's improving so fast. So imagine having that sort of global scale where you can outreach so many people and improve so many people's lives. Like morally, that's you wouldn't get that in any other gym where you can care after so many people and have the same sort of mindset and spread so much positivity around the world. Yeah,
just like creating a brand that's so different to what's currently the top brands. Like it's
essentially the Gymshark of gyms.
Yeah, it's so much better than like Pure Gym and these gym group ones, whereas it's got nothing. Like if you can have our ethos all over the place, then everyone's going to be happy, and you're going to change the industry and kind of create the industry. Kind of change it to be what you think it should be and how you think the industry should exist, as opposed to how it currently exists.
And the more support you guys give us, the more money we have, the more we can build things that should be built.
Yeah, so send some checks to our PO address.
It's Jason's house.
Please.
The Fortitude Foundation.
Another question.
Yeah.
Right. So, ideal, all the money, blah, 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 doesn't matter if you have one member, whatever. Yeah. If you had the opportunity to charge a certain amount for a gym, actually, no, let's do that right at the end because you can put stuff in your gym first, okay? So I actually give you an opportunity for free select items or a noteworthy piece, for example, like the Eiffel Tower of things in the gym. What would you want? And what would the free pieces be? So like an attraction. So when people come in, there's... your gym could have 20, but...
I think we've already nailed our major attractions, like the social zone. Is hugely unique to what we're doing. You don't know about that. None of you heard that.
Fuck you.
Yeah, go
Sorry,
away.
No,
so like that,
ultra fast Wi-Fi and
ultra fast Wi-Fi. So all the things that make it the like social millennial kind of connective gym that we want it to be. I just think like for me that is literally what we've got, like what we're going to hopefully have.
And that posing room as well with loads of mirrors. Where else can you go in and have a designated spot where competitors can do that?
Are going to love
There's
it.
so many here.
Yeah, they love it, and the opportunity to have an area to pose properly is incredible. And then they have a place to be represented by. And then for me, like the combat zone, and eventually turn it into where we have like a really nice combat zone with fighters that we actually put through tournaments, and we become a fighting label and have people fight under Fortitude.
It's like the TriStar gym and wherever that is.
That'd be incredible. Like those things are massive, and we're pretty much already planned for the things we want to have.
Cool. This next year is going to be absolutely huge. As soon as this next gym launches, you guys are going to see some incredible projects come to fruition. So
in your ideal gyms, how much would you charge
for this next gym?
Yeah, if people are going to pay it, they can. Well, I mean,
I think we both, all three of us know that we'll probably end up charging up to £50 a month on this next one. It's going to be well worth it, especially with the quality of...
Do you agree with that, Jay? Or
it depends on what the outcome of the gym looks like. If it's a gym that's going to be worth it, then yeah. But I mean, I never want to be a gym that's charging like 60, 70, 80, 90 because you can make that transition from our raw gym to something more commercial. Like before you know it, you're like, oh, we charge £90. We need to get like a swimming pool and this and that. And then you're no longer what you are. You become a David Lloyd. So I don't ever want to do that. So like, I think we'd only ever max out at 50 if the facilities are worth it. And even then,
I think 50 would scare a lot of people. If you had
scary number.
If you had 50,
I think we had that pyramid scheme as well, didn't we? Where the first 200, the next 100, and 100 after that.
If you could have it so that like you can fill your memberships up with and give the opportunity for not lower people, but lower membership prices. Then that'd be fine. Yeah, absolutely.
And we said to people that are already in this gym, the next gym they're going to get for the same price, maybe for I don't know, like the first year or something. And then the next 100 people get it for 25, next 100 is 30, and all the way up to 50.
My ideal gym would have a trampoline.
I knew it. I knew there was going to be something.
Right in the entrance, and then you jump onto the platform where like I'm sitting behind the desk, but each people I'm like facing the balcony with a little landing spot, and they jump, and I just see them come over and land, and I go, "How's it going, man? You're good. You signing in?" And they sign in. They walk down.
That would be incredible.
That would be good. Yeah. I mean, how high up is the? Because you can't.
I'm talking like maybe 3-4 stories. You got a proper jump. I mean,
that's a test.
that is a test. And if you can't get to the top, or like I see hands like holding onto the rails, I'm gonna pull your fingers because that's not good enough. You got to jump over it. All right. So I'm gonna move you.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to sign up to your gym, man.
I'm a Skyer. Like, is that his name in Lion King? Is it Scar?
Scar.
I'm gonna do that.
We've always toyed with the idea of, I think it's especially we've got massive inspiration after seeing that BRX London gym.
BRX London.
Imagine opening a gym where you only have 10 customers and they're all paying $1,000 a month.
The grand a month gym was a great concept, wasn't it? I still think we'll explore that.
We'll probably end up doing that at some point.
We want to try it one day just for the lols.
I think you need a rich area though. You have to do your research.
London, Kensington,
Yeah.
like those areas. The members, like the 10 like bankers or like CEOs who can go there.
Don't fucking use it.
Get like a golden card. But I mean, it's just an elitist thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Elitist people.
It's like the gentleman's club, to have that sort of level, to be like, oh, you're a member of this gym where you pay £1,000 a month.
Yeah.
It's almost like showing off, like buying a Lambo.
Have you heard that $1 million app?
What's that?
It's an app for $1 million.
Oh yeah.
But it does nothing. It's just a picture, and you open it, and it says you bought it. It doesn't do anything, and it's just for. I think it's sold free. If that's a myth, call me out on it.
Like if you sold
I heard
them,
it.
If it's real and you sold 3 of them,
apparently it got taken off the App Store because obviously it didn't do anything. But at the end of the day, people, if you did buy that, you're buying it to show how fucking rich you are.
And you bought it out of
I don't
choice.
give a fuck. This is pennies for me. That's what you're doing it for.
And you would have bought it out of choice if you did.
It comes up on the screenshot. There's actually, I remember when I was first learning some stuff about IT, there was a website called the $1 Million Site. Have you heard of that before?
I think you told me about it before, actually.
So there's 1 million pixels, and this guy hustled the shit out of it. He literally called up every business to be like, hey, do you want to buy a pixel for $1? And then at the end, he sold the last few for like thousands and thousands.
Yeah.
Hundreds and thousands. So yeah, it's literally, if you go on $1millionsite.com now, you'll be able to see 1 million pixels, and that site is worth $1 million.
Damn.
Yeah, just because he sold a space for people to be able to exist. It's crazy, isn't it?
Right.
That is a crazy bit.
Just one massive billboard.
Maybe we find us. I don't want to talk about this on here, actually, to all of us.
Non-disclosure agreement.
Okay, none of you get to hear this part. This is serious business. We'll talk about it after.
This will be on the Patreon.
Please write it down, Jay.
Give us monthly
It's
money.
essentially what you've said and what already exists, but our version of it for the modern world.
All right, Frankie, talk us into the gang.
What? No, that's another day, bro.
That's a whole new subject.
Is it?
That's a trans agenda.
I think we can save that as a big story piece.
Oh, good idea.
That'd be quite
Well,
cool.
we've never told a story as a free of something that happened
That'd
to
be
us.
quite fun.
We need more stories to tell. We
We
need
need
to
to
go
hang out
traveling.
more, Frankie, don't we? You need to start coming out with more.
What's that?
You got the...
You heard me.
It's alright. It's okay.
I'm replaying that. All right.
Oh, no.
We'll switch it up.
Alright, let's
Ready?
go. Where are we at?
Why
Love
not?
Island.
Here we go.
We've done this for a while.
Why Love Island is trash. Okay. So obviously Love Island being on the TV screen, I'm seeing
watched it.
I'm seeing it on trending. So the concept is you try and go in there and get with a partner, and you.
Oh, I watched
Spiral.
one bit. So it's spiralized but into Love Island. Did you see that scene where the girl was like, the guy that I want to pair up with is, makes me smile at my darkest times, and he's got a great body. And as she's saying that, this guy who's not getting chosen is like,
Oh,
so look at his lips. And then she chooses another guy, and he's like, oh,
jeez.
that's so embarrassing, man.
Anyway, bloody hell. So we can go into a few things, but we won't linger on the subject. What?
That was a great shot. Can I ask you guys then? Because let's face it, I haven't been on TV. You two have. So let me ask you guys.
What do I think about TV, Jay?
All right. So Frankie, TV experience for you, genuinely speaking, like the whole ITV.
I'll
TV
link it to Love
experience.
Island, so we
Yeah?
keep it. So,
Keep it current.
So we went on Ibiza Weekender, didn't we, Kay? And you've heard this again in a previous poddy. But essentially, ITV2 run Ibiza Weekender. And I think is it ITV2 with Love Island, or is that ITV1?
I don't know, but still ITV.
One
but
of them. It's the same
idea
company,
is,
isn't it?
How real do you think everything is on there, based on what your experience was?
So, since being on Ibiza Weekender, I haven't looked at any TV show the same in regards to real. Okay, so even Jack Whitehall, you know Jack Whitehall?
Yeah.
He does a show where he travels around with his dad.
Yeah.
I don't know what network it's with, but essentially, like, I saw these jokes in it, and they were supposed to pretend that it was real, and like the dad's being funny, and he's standing there like getting lost and stuff, and I'm like, when I think back to Ibiza Weekend and how staged it was, they would not allow him to not for that to not be staged. That is a stage thing where if you've not been on TV, you wouldn't know. You think, oh, that's real, and I couldn't enjoy it because I knew full well.
They took about 100 shots.
Of trying to get us to walk into a club.
Have you heard of? That was so annoying. But have you heard of that This Morning show when Cam was on it? And Cam was on a previous.
Ken?
I think Cam. He won the previous Love Island. I think with that girl. So he was sharing how, you know how it's on for 6 days of the week, and one of them is a rest day. Well, that rest day is when all of them go to the beach and hang out and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they, but they're not allowed to talk about Love Island. So things can happen in that day that you wouldn't ever know about.
Rob Lipsett, do you know Rob Lipsett?
Yeah.
He's
Didn't last
obviously
very long, did he?
But the issue with him, I watched his video, and apparently, where he talked about Love Island, and he was, we can only take his word for it, but he was saying that because he wasn't what they were looking for, as in the TV crew, he wasn't that outlandish cunt. He wasn't doing this, he wasn't doing that. He was being genuinely nice to everyone. Apparently, he talked to most people around the house and was being caught on the screen a lot. And it's just when it came to editing, it didn't fit the criteria ITV wanted, so they blanked him out.
Yeah.
So he was.
Same with us, wasn't it?
Well, we were constantly
hilarious.
telling jokes and shit and messing around, and because we didn't fit the model that they wanted, like that clown, we didn't fit the clown model. They cut most of us out.
Sucks, isn't it?
That's why, and then they made us look like we were into ourselves. Aspects of that, but they didn't. Twitter didn't understand the irony.
Yeah.
They didn't like the flexing.
They definitely made it look like we were serious about it.
100%.
Yeah.
And the narrator guy,
fucking
guy.
Oh, that fucking guy.
So we even, like, when we're doing the similar to this, so the camera's on, and then the lady's behind the camera asking us questions in like the little interview, and then she goes, right, you've got to say it as if I said it. So you have to think, oh, and I think I'd be a good addition to the house, and then you go from there and you sprout shit. And if it didn't fit in line, or we strayed off the path, if we brought you up, they were like, no. They said no one cares, but because you're not on the screen, they don't want to know about anything. That's not for them. It's a strange concept, and like
Same with for taking me out when I was doing the interview. This was in my living room.
ITV as well.
And they were shooting for it. And this was meant to be an interview, bearing in mind. They had a whole script. They knew exactly what I was going to answer to the questions that they were going to ask me. And they're like, so maybe you could say something like this. And then I'd say something different. And they were like, oh, maybe we could just say something like this.
So they're pretty much manipulating you.
They give you your where you were going to cut.
I knew when. So real quick, went for the guys that we did the casting with, Chris Hall from.
Amazing.
So he got me in on Take Me Out, and I was actually going to go for
Cheers,
it.
Chris. Cheers, Chris. You have two people on ITV.
You were on the relationship.
Get me on it.
This is when I was single. So I was still single. That's the irony. But anyway,
it's a whole different thing.
Yeah, it's a whole new different thing. But anyway, so I was single. Chris got me on it. I went through all the tests, got the choreography and everything. I was for my performance, which was shit. They got like 7 hearts, and I was meant to do this kicking routine and got a choreographer who was doing some shit with Beyonce or some stuff as well. Anyway, so I did a kicking routine, so that was my thing. And I found out that I had like how many girls I had left. I can't remember how many now, but everything's scripted, and the girls have earphones, and they would have known what to say and what next to give. And then I had to practice like
so absolutely everything on this reality dating show.
Predetermined what lights are coming on and off.
The only thing I didn't know is what girl I was going to end up with, because there's 2 at the end.
So you got to pick that.
So that's the only bit.
So that's the choice I was. Yeah.
But it still comes down to what lights come on.
And at each stage, they knew how many lights were going to get turned off.
That's why the girls come out with such pointless things when they go, "Sorry, I didn't like your tie today, so I've turned my light off," because they have to. Yeah.
But the thing is, when you then like look at a show, now you know that information and you watch that Love Island. I don't know how, if you know this, you can sit there and watch it.
I want to quickly close off the Take Me Out thing. The reason I didn't end up going on it, which was meant to be shooting in, I can't remember now, February, is because I got back with my ex.
So out of respect, you didn't do
Out
it.
of respect, I didn't want to be on TV because if we were together, I didn't want her family and my family seeing that we're out there going on dates and Fernando.
That would have looked terrible on you if
That would have been.
if they saw you on TV and then
So
went
I
to
had
find
a
your
girlfriend.
Instagram and you and your girlfriend are
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I didn't do it, and then we broke up.
So ITV, get him on.
Get him back.
Get him
He's just
back.
outed you for being fake, but come
Get him
on.
on.
Oh, no.
That's why I think Love Island is trash. But anytime anyone brings Love Island up, I never say that because
Everyone loves
I've
it.
been on because I've been on IB for weekend. That'd be a hypocritical thing to say. Is that I was on one of the shows that I think is garbage, so I don't really say it.
Yeah, and like, I mean, just let people enjoy it too. People love it. It makes them happy.
Yeah.
It gives them something to talk about. It gives people a new thing, and it makes those people on there like famous in what they're trying to achieve as well. So like, yeah, I mean, the problem with Love Island, they're famous for like a year until the next series, and then they tend to phase out, and then most of them kill themselves, unfortunately.
Fucking hell, Jay.
That's true. No, that's true.
yeah.
That's true. There's a couple of suicides, isn't there?
There is
from
too.
Love
That's
Island?
just
Yeah.
We're gonna get some haters on the
Yeah.
episode.
Well, no, that's the truth.
What, text K?
That's a whole new context, isn't it? Didn't someone kill themselves from it? Jeremy Kyle, and that got axed
I was
instantly.
genuinely going to bring it up
Yeah.
just now.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Jessica got axed because someone killed themselves. Love Island didn't get axed, and people have also killed themselves.
Two. So two people on Love Island, one on Jeremy Kyle. Same. Wait,
But you've got to think why. So
There's a
the
person
guy
behind it, isn't
from Jeremy Kyle, I think,
so.
killed himself due to what happened on Jeremy Kyle and what happened after Jeremy Kyle. Whereas
Yeah.
you can't determine whether or not Love Island made this person kill themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say that. So they can't sit there and say Love Island made this person do that because you just can't. Nothing bad might have happened to them on Love Island to create that kind of
Fair. I haven't looked at it
Whereas
that way.
On Jeremy Kyle, if I'm being ousted for like doing something terrible, like stealing from my mum or something, and then suddenly I walk around Ipswich and everyone's like
Yeah,
calling me
true.
names
To be
and
fair,
throwing
they-
shit at me.
They also get because we had to do a psychology test to make sure that we're sane enough to
Yeah.
handle the hate that we'll get after it and stuff. And I said you should expect
yeah,
you should
we
probably
did, didn't we?
delete some things off Instagram and Twitter before you go on it. And if they don't want public to go on, and they will find you, and somehow they did as well. So I'd imagine with Jeremy Kyle, they must have done a comprehensive version of that and said that you will be slated for what you're about to say. So be careful, sort of thing. So it's they made their own conscious decision to do it. If you're gonna go and drag in the lion's den, obviously you're probably gonna get bitten.
They definitely shouldn't have axed it because it's a national treasure of a show. That
I mean, it's been
everyone
up
loves.
for the years, and if you
Yeah.
had percentages on the screen now, you'd have like a 0.0 of something bad, like as in someone killing themselves.
Yeah.
You can't act something because you then put in precautions where this shouldn't happen. Well, I think that's what they've done with Love Island is they've put in more precautions of what happens after. So I think you go to counselling, you have to do a certain mandatory amount of sessions and something to see if you're all right. I think that's what they do.
It
with
would be
that.
difficult though. Imagine you come off Love Island and then you come off and like whether you come midway or towards the end or if you win it and you're a superstar for a while. Like, I mean, how many people were talking about Jack and Danny last year and like people like that, and you become this superstar and you're on like adverts and you're on TV and you might get a couple of other shows nearby like what's his name? EL got onto a couple of other shows and adverts. Like,
Well, it's not Callum Weekender. He's done so well, and I think it's your own job to keep the snowball effect going.
I think he's played it smart, hasn't he?
Miley Weekender still on the same like 70k followers, whereas Callum Weekender is almost half
You
a
have
million.
that short time where you have to make the most of what you're doing.
What I'm saying is that it must be hard for the people who don't manage to succeed in that point and don't manage to carry on, or they fail in becoming anything more than that, or they're naive and they think, oh, at this point it's going to roll for me, and then the next thing you know, like a year later, you're being died out. A couple of other shows are going on. Other people getting like the adverts, and your agent's like saying you're not being selected for things. Then your money's going down because you're not hustling enough. And then then your mum's like, you need to go get your job at Tesco's, and you're like, oh, God, last year I was on magazine front covers, and now I'm at
Well,
Tesco's.
it's like being a footballer and then not being a footballer.
But they get millions. If you made Premier League, then you're right.
Yeah.
Like Frank could have been a pro.
Yeah,
I could have been pro footballer.
There are a couple of NFL players who are like bankrupt who were like, because I mean, NFL players make millions. Like,
and they get a signing contract. Bonus as well, don't they?
like this year, someone got like a £180 million contract.
Damn.
Like a £50 million
As in they sign a paper and then they get the money for
that's
signing
just
the
for
paper.
signing. It was like 150 million. I think it's like 180 or something like that. 140 guaranteed, 50 million on signing too. So like, it's ridiculous how much money they make. And then they say do come bankrupt though, because if you've done it for a year and you've got this massive house and you spent out and then you get an injury and you're out, then. But yeah, so
It's smart with your money.
but you had to be clever. If you're on Love Island and you want to maximise it, you should.
Boom. reality TV shit.
Would you go on any shows?
I think I'd love to go on. Obviously, I wouldn't go on those ones because I'm not looking for a girlfriend or anything.
About the SAS thing. Makes you think how real that is. Like, who the fuck knows?
Well, there's cameramen up there.
Yeah. They are up there. Like, I mean, they like when they show these harsh environments and how much they're struggling. But obviously, the cameraman's just sort of like.
I used to think
through.
Bear Grylls was real.
He's
like at the time, I was like, he's definitely sleeping. But then again, like then you get put in reality, like there's no way he's sleeping there. He's going to a hotel. That was the whole thing, wasn't it? That Bear Grylls then goes and sleeps in a hotel and then comes back and does it again. But again, he does actually put himself in them scary situations.
I guess it's just to make good TV, isn't it? Just to
it's all entertainment. We forget that it's entertainment, isn't it? It's their businesses. They're trying. I mean, like BBC, ITV. That's a business. That's a company.
Imagine filming a shit episode, nothing happened. I mean, it's real. It's real.
Yeah. It would suck. So yeah, I mean, but I would definitely like to do some bits. Like, I'd definitely like to do some of the cool things on TV, like the more adventure stuff. That'd be fun. Maybe we can get a show, us three, ITV, if you're watching.
We just slammed them for the last 20 minutes.
I was asking, I think, Paul, how do I get like a radio? How I said about our podcast. How can we get our podcast on like? How can we become radio hosts and get a radio segment? And he said some of the biggest ones out there done podcasts first. Then they would send their podcast to like the BBC and be like, "This is our podcast. This is who we look at us. Look at our personality.
We want to get in, bro.
I think we're too
crude.
I mean, it'd be interesting to see.
You say you dial it down like for radio. You wouldn't be saying, "Oh, I'm going to talk about this on radio." No, you're saying, "Look at our personalities. Like, what do you think of our connection, the way we spark, the way we talk? Do you think we'd be good enough?" And then they'd be like, well, eventually, it's very slim, but that's how other people have made it.
Let's do it.
And then they're like,
we'd always send one off and then see what they say.
Show him. And then they obviously like it, and they would say to you, well, but don't talk about the things we talk about. You'd be doing radio stuff.
Yeah.
So there are options, or then you become like a show or a talk show. Or you got to send your content out there, and that's what Paul said.
Nice.
So
food for thought.
A few of them have done like community radio as well. First, which is like free radio to build a fan
That'd
base.
be cool, just to get a little practice in one of those ones.
So,
can you buy a radio station?
You can do Ipswich community radio, I think, for like pretty much for free.
Because me and Vicky were trying to research on Google if you can buy an actual like 104.64,
like a spot.
like a little spot.
You must be able to.
You must be able to buy a channel.
Oh, there we go. Fortitude Radio coming soon.
Oh, that'd be sick.
That'd be crazy.
All right, let's end that one there. We've got the last thingy. That's red, so I'm thinking I just change it just in case because I don't want to deal with that shit. So pause. Would I lie to you? So we're going to go into that. I'm going to do this one for this week, and then I'll give one of you the option to do one yourself for next week. So I think that this is a bit easier than finding what was it, story time?
Headlines and stuff like that.
Yeah, all that
story
shit.
time,
Yeah.
You can freestyle it.
So this one is, I once nursed a chicken to health for it to immediately die. Yeah. Right, so I'm going to go into it a little bit and then you can prod me for more questions. Right. So when I was growing up, I was probably, I'd say 10, probably about 10. I found in my garden a little baby chick.
All right.
Little baby chick.
Found a chick in your garden. Where were you living?
Macaulay Road, so Witten.
A chick in Witten.
And I would not be able to explain how the chick got there, by the way. I do not actually know. I literally just found the chick. So
this is a chick, yeah? Like a legitimate, how small?
Tiny. Little thing.
Little chick.
How
big? Probably
big?
need to be fed from its mother like every sort of 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah. So literally, that's what I know. I didn't have a job. I was 10, so I would feed the chicken or chick. I'd feed the chick milk, so I gave her a little milk out of like a spoon, little baby teaspoon. I mean, well, this chick did, Kay. This chick did.
That's a lie.
No, this chick.
Are we allowed? Are
You're allowed to prod me. No, you can prod me. So if at any point you want to raise an issue, then you can.
I like it. So how did it find the milk?
What do you mean?
Did it drink it? Did it like it?
Well, I mean, I'm not saying it drank a gallon because it needed a wee.
Little chirpy bits.
Yeah, but little bits here and there. You get a little bit of bread here and there. But mainly, just stick a spoon in its face. So I nursed this chicken. Got healthy. It looked a little bit feeble. I don't know how old it was or whatever. I was a kid at the end of the day. So you put it in a shoebox. wrapped it around, let it sleep in there, and then as soon as
Did you tell your mum?
my mum was aware.
I'm going to text your mum right now.
That's not the game, Jay.
Cheating.
So I would then obviously put it in a shoebox. I'd sleep. It would sleep in my room. I'd put it on a cabinet or whatever.
Did it poo?
Well, I can't remember that. I imagine it did. I imagine
Just
chicks
poo.
do poo. They've probably just done it. I think it just
do
done.
like little bird poop style poops.
Yeah, I can't really remember that, but yeah. So anyway, it was in the box. Recovered the chick. Got better. Then I took her around my cousins because I wanted to show everyone the chick. I was like, I was going to keep it as a pet, to be honest. I don't know if my mum would have let me, but I was going to keep it as a pet. So I took her around my cousins, and it was all walking around the garden. Everyone was absolutely loving it. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, this is the cutest little fucking chick
walking
ever."
around the garden.
With a collar. No, I put it in the garden for it to walk by itself.
Yeah.
And then my little cousin, being really young, I think she must have been 2, 3. I think that I'm going to say 2. I think she was 2 the way we're separated cousins. She was wandering about, plodding about. I was looking directly at the chick. She stood on the chick, killed it in front of me. That was how I
If
once.
that's true, that's tragic.
She's 2 or 3. How big are her feet?
Well, enough to kill a little tiny. That's offensive.
Oh dear.
I've just
All
googled. They do drink
So
milk.
you can ask.
Alright.
You can ask some more. If you googled
so
it, you can.
I'm struggling because I don't know. I mean, a chick find its way to wit in your back garden. I can't say I don't know enough about them. I don't know how long a chick can separate from its mother for before it dies. Like they need to be nursed
Well,
for
you
a certain
can-
amount of time.
Well,
How
I don't know how the chick got there
because it doesn't need to be kept warm because it's pretty much nothing. It needs to be fed by its mum.
I
because
looked after
can't-
it constantly.
Yeah, but it doesn't. God, I wish I knew more about chickens. I wish I knew more. I'm struggling because I mean I wouldn't have believed the poo story, the window. But
So you got the poo, and then you've got the piss drink.
Yeah, like,
that
I
was
wouldn't
even.
have believed
You didn't.
it.
Kay didn't believe that.
the poo story is outstanding, and it was true, and that's the worst thing about it. That's why I started laughing during your talk there. 'Cause I was thinking about the poo story and how it got in your face. I'm gonna have to listen to that episode again. I love the poo story.
I've got a whole Kyle segment for it.
The worst
Jay.
part is all your story adds up.
Yeah, and you're so wacky that it might just be true, but I'm going to say it's a lie.
So Jay's on the lie, Kay?
I thought the last one's a lie.
So yeah, what the one before?
Yeah. What if you lied about it being a lie?
There's no point then because then it's
Okay,
just
yeah.
like
All right. Well, yeah, it's a lie then.
you think a lie. The answer is it's a lie.
Yeah.
Hey, I took it from a similar story.
Nice.
I think my cousins, I can't remember what animal it was. I'm thinking it was either a tiny, I think it was a chick. I'm pretty sure it was a chick. And my cousins actually raised the chick to health and she stood on it. She actually did stand on the chick they raised back.
So
I
it's a
stole the
true story, but wasn't.
It was a
really
false,
your
no, it was a
story.
lie because I took someone else's story.
Yeah, I like it. Clever.
But yeah, so who wants to do one next week?
I'll do it next
Jay,
week. I'll
you're
do it
up.
next week. All right.
All
right.
It's going to be like, what was the thing you've been saying right at the end? And you get, what was the story you're supposed to tell? Story time? And we just haven't, you've said it about 4 times.
The double headbanger.
The double headbanger.
I'm not going to tell that story. That's never going to be heard because that's true and you already know it's going to be true.
Right. I think we should call it there.
Okay.
All talking away about himself, always about Ken. And to my left,
Jason Watson.
to my right,
It's Kamal.
Julius.
Julius Caesar.
And me, Frankie Lies. Jay, what's your Instagram?
Rustic Soul.
Love of Kamal.
Me, the real Frankie Lies.
Frank
By
the Fifth.
and Frank the Fifth. Let's Plays with Frankie. Preserve.
Fortitude Ipswich.
Ooh.
Fortitude.
Not that one.
FortitudeFit.co.
Yeah, buy some shirts. Buy some shirts, please. Come to us. Come to any 3 of us and buy a shirt. But always, when you address the shirts, talk to Kay around us. Always eye contact Kay. Otherwise, he will lash me and Jay again on
He
the
does
back.
lash us with his penis.
We saw a boomerang of Kay's
Yeah.
penis
Oh
earlier.
yeah, I
wasn't
showed you.
it? Big old thing.
Absolute delight it was.
Mm.
Big old thing, that,
Big old
thing.
that old boy.
Made me feel well good about my penis size.
It was so impressive.
I've got a couple of fucking 8-inch dicks in my face here.
Hey, slappy.
Mine's one.
What an absolute dream.
Whose dick would you rather be impaled by? Obviously. King Celius. Celius?
Definitely be King Celius.
Celius. Okay, say your thing. I'm just waiting for you to say.
Bye.